Welcome, everybody, to week 6 of the Blueberry UFL Power Rankings Show. This is one of your hosts, like Troglodyte, joined by Durgan Hartunian and Dwayne Courts Piers, our two regulars. This week, we also have a special guest with us, Marlo Edenflower Piers of the Mustangs. How's it going, Marlo?
It's going great, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So let's get right to business with why the most of you are here, and that is free stuff. Yay! And we'll go over here to the Blueberry Gifts Corner, and there's our wonderful sponsor right there, Miss Blueberry Piers. This week we are giving away the backpack that she is wearing. That one right there, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Blueberry UFL exclusive. So go ahead and start shooting those IMs to her. I am Blueberry XX Resident. You can claim your backpack now. You can see we are also joined this week by a couple of other live audience guests. So yay, good to see people not only joining in the stream, but also here in person. So go ahead and start shooting those IMs now. Send them often. Tell your friends about it. It's the only place to get it, right here at the UFL Power Rankings Show. All right, so we had a pretty full slate of games this week, and so we've got a lot to talk about. So while y'all are shooting off those IMs, we're going to tell you a little bit about the action. Let me start by saying this. These are just our opinions. They are nothing official. They are not associated with rankings or playoffs or anything whatsoever. This is just our opinion of right now who the strongest teams are in the league from top to bottom. So we do our own, we all kind of have our own little nuanced methods of how we pick teams. And you're going to find out this week that even though they're different, a lot of times they're the same. So it's kind of going to be a fun show. So having said all that, though, we are going to go ahead and get started with our rankings. And let me make sure I can get our little board turned on. All right, we are rocking and rolling. Durgan, you are going to take it away, my man. Hit us up with that number 14.
Alrighty, starting with number 14, the Cobras fall into the end of the list following a forfeit to the Dolphins. Forfeits due to personnel issues are not limited any longer to Bulldogs, who have now come into position number 13, taking a loss but bringing the players for the match against the Falcons, who are now in our number 12 spot. At number 11, we have the Mustangs coming off of a 65-0 defeat to the Panthers, but then ascending 2 spots into number 10 after perhaps the biggest surprise and upset of this great weekend of football, the Ohana Packers with a 33-21 win against the Edge City Eagles, who have now fallen an unprecedented 4 slots this week into position number 9. And to continue with number 8, I give you my co-host, Dre Quartz.
Thank you, Durgan. Thank you. Coming in at number 8, moving up 1 spot this week is the Patriots. Moving up after even a loss to the Cowboys, 33-21, bringing their record to 2-3. No movement now on number 7. We got the Warriors still at number 7 after losing to the Yellow Jackets 21-7. That takes their record to 1-2. Coming in number 6, we've got the Cowboys. After their impressive win over the Patriots, 33-21 this week, they move up 2 spots with a record of 2-2 now. Coming in number 5, we got the Yellow Jackets after a big win, 21-7 over the Warriors, moving up 1 spot. They are 3-3, but don't let the record fool you because those 3 losses did come against the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Titans, which was a closely contested game against the Titans. Coming in number 4, we got the Panthers with no movement this week. After a win over the Mustangs 65-7 with a record of 4-1, and the Dolphins are coming in number 3, win by forfeit over the Bulldogs. They stayed the same as last week, 3-1, with 2 wins being 2 forfeits. To bring up the last 2 for us, I'm gonna send it over to Marlo Edenflower Piers.
All right, both number 1 and number 2 had a bye week, so both are retaining their spots. Staying in the number 2 spot, we have the Titans, and continuing on this week in number 1 is the Bills.
All right, there you go. That is our top 14. Now, before we get into breakdowns, let me once again take you over here to Blueberry Corner. Have we ever officially named it that, Blueberry? Oh, she said got quiet. Yeah, I was gonna say she gets quiet when we start recording, but yeah, we'll just name this.
Talk every week.
All right, Sonic. All right.
Yay, we got it. All right, so yeah, we're over here at Blueberry Corner now officially. So I am Blueberry XX Resident right now to get those backpacks fired away. How are we looking on that count so far, Blueberry? Have we hit 20 yet?
Not yet, but we're getting there.
Oh, right. See, you still hadn't given me one. Usually I get them early, and I noticed you were being stingy with the backpacks this week. So, y'all get those IMs in
Got it, Sai.
since I
Yeah.
can't get one apparently. So, all right.
Here
So,
you go, Spike. I'll res you one out here for you.
oh yeah. Look, see. Oh, she gave me one. Thank you. All right. So I tell you, you're gonna have a full football set by the time this is over, because now we've got wrist jewelry, we've got a necklace, we got a backpack, we got a ride to sit on. I'm telling you, we're all decked out. All right, so let's go ahead and tell you now how we arrived at where we arrived. And gentlemen, y'all can post the Gizmo link. I'm still gonna call it that. I don't even care. The Gizmo link in Facebook, so
Sorry,
y'all can.
just to let you know, they can't hear us in Twitch. Just letting you
They
know.
can hear. They can't hear Durgan. They're having trouble hearing Durgan. In Twitch.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, let me
Just
pull.
Oh, you're not hearing me on. Do I need to be on TeamSpeak again?
No, because I'm not even in TeamSpeak. Let me keep talking, Durgan.
You might need to just turn me up a little bit if I'm where I was last week, because I think you brought me a little bit low last time.
Yeah, well, everybody evened right back out, so now I'm actually turning it up some. So that should
Okay.
help. That should help.
How's that?
Sorry about that, guys.
Yep. My apologies. Well, they should be by the time that this part broadcasts on. They should be hearing you. I turn him up a little bit. All right, so hopefully the Gizmo link is in local now in Facebook under the UFL Facebook page, where you probably got the link to this show. So I'll keep a miniature version here. Let's see. I don't want to cover Durgan up. Let me cover me up. Yay! All right. So I've got a little miniature version right here. You can see a lot of movement this week. Red would signify that a team moved up in the polls. Green would signify that a team dropped in the polls. So you can see the different, each individual team. Now, these are not from number 1 to number 14. These are the teams in alphabetical order. So you can kind of see and follow the track. You can see the movement. Now, what I would like to point out is we had, for the first time, a 3-vote consensus on every spot, 1 through 14. Everybody felt the same way except me. All right, so that's why I'm wearing the black wool sweatshirt this week. I'm apparently the black sheep of the ranking committee. But yeah, they all 3 came in lockstep and nailed like 1 through 14. You can see it right here. Durgan, Dre, and Marlowe. Every one of their votes mirrored each other. Not a typo either. I double checked. So I'm the only different one. So it should get interesting whenever it comes time to make fun of each other's picks. So yeah, I'll open up the floor since apparently you 3 have conspired. Go ahead, hit me with your best shot as far as why I've got people where. I know there are probably some.
All right, Psych. You know I'm going to lead it off.
God.
Here we go. Why did you rank the Packers, only at number 11 after they beat what we had ranked as the number 5th team last week?
Right.
Why did you rank them? So, why did you not give them more of a ranking when they did have a good win, but also in the same sense, too, you ranked a team that had a win over a lesser opponent higher than the Packers? Why did you do that?
All right, wait, who are you comparing to now? So, which lesser
The
team?
The Falcons played the Bulldogs and beat the Bulldogs this week.
Okay.
So which we had the
All right.
Bulldogs at 13. Falcons were at I think 12 last week.
Right.
Then you move them higher than the Packers, but the Packers come in and we had them like I think it was what was it like 13th or no it was like 11th last week or 12th last week.
Right.
And then they beat the Eagles and then you just moved them up a couple of spots. And then you put the Falcons above them. Why did you do that?
I think I mean, these are my thought processes as I'm rolling through it. I'm glad you asked, because if Durgan would have asked me, I would have laughed at him, because this is the guy that after we beat the Dolphins still had them above us. So I'll take this question from you, Dre Quartz, but Durgan, I would have been like, excuse me, kind sir. No. All right.
That's understandable.
So, okay, here's my thoughts. Number 1, the Packers, all right, why did I keep them as 11, not move them up higher? I didn't want to be so reactionary that, like, on one day, all of a sudden they just explode. So I tried to keep past performances still completely relevant while you do recognize what's happening now. And I'd have to pull up last week's. I'm pretty sure I had them maybe 13th last week. So I did bump them up a little bit. But primarily, let me think how I'm going to say this, because I don't. I try to keep things on a team. I never want to make call out like a particular individual. But there were a couple of plays where it was just like, this one route was what really torched the Eagles in the towards the end of that game. That they just couldn't cover, and so I felt like that maybe, and I think that was even my breakdown of the game, is that if there was one area to attack of the Eagles, it would be the secondary, and then sure enough, that's what they hit them with late in the game. And so I just felt like it was like they hit the one weak spot, and I don't know overall if it will be something that they'll continue. Now, I hope it is, for their sake, which brings us to our prop of the week. And then this is where, since I do want to give a shout out to the Packers. I had a conversation with their quarterback before the game, and he's been listening. He watches our show, so shout out to you over there, man. Player of the week for his game. Up for the combatant cleats. So I do want to give them shout out.
Definitely.
Yeah, for their performance. So here's why. See, we had gone out and we've called the Packers out. We've called them out to the point, it's like, look guys, you got to step up. Y'all are a historical football organization as far as SL football, and like we had went out and had these made in the cafeteria because we were looking for y'all. Have you seen me right here on the milk carton, the Packers offense? Because we've been begging for it.
Is that what that's there for?
Yes, it's because it's like you've been missing, and we were looking for you. All right, but now officially, look, right click, delete. We don't have those questions anymore because you guys showed up in a major way. And okay, yeah, I didn't give you a bump, as big a bump as the other guys, but the other guys are moving you forward. I moved you forward a little bit. You guys are obviously on the right track. Before y'all all have a panic attack, I ran that by Packers ownership. She laughed. She thought it was funny. So I would never, ever take a shot like that without them knowing. But those are a good group of people over there, and they've got things on the right track. And you can argue about the bump, that I gave them in the right direction. Was it high enough? You can argue that, and that's a legitimate question. The thing that is most important to me, though, and maybe we can all agree on, is that it was a bump up, and it was a bump in the right direction. And if these guys continue on, we feel like there's a lot of playoff spots over on that side of the division that are still up for contention. So, with that all said, right now, yeah, you guys, you're about to crack the top 10. I don't know if y'all are playing this week. I'm not sure. I know it's a very short schedule, and a lot of people have buys because of Easter weekend.
The Dolphins Friday.
Yeah, they
okay.
got the Dolphins
Friday. All right. So, see, that's a game, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, you don't even have to necessarily win that game to continue being ranked higher, because it's not like, that's the easiest task in the world, go beat the Dolphins. So yeah, that's my thought process behind their rankings, and a little joke along the way. Let's see. Here's one that I wanted to ask y'all. On this same token, okay, the Yellow Jackets. I mean,
right.
Is the win over the Warriors enough to bump them to 5? I mean, obviously it is if 3 of y'all agreed, but let me hear your thought process on that, because that's a team that has gotten just absolutely destroyed a couple of times.
Well, this is what I'm thinking on it. Okay, we were pretty harsh on the Yellow Jackets last week. We kind of stiffed them, I think, in the rankings. But if you go back and look, and I actually went back and looked, and this team is very talented. I mean, they have talent all the way across the board. Everybody from quarterback. They have 2 or 3 quarterbacks that can play. Not only Cash, they got Troy, they got Angelo. Like, they have a couple quarterbacks that can play. They've got receivers out the wazoo. They've got a good line. Their defense is good. I mean, they're a good team. If you go back and look at their look at their season, their losses came against the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Titans. And the Titans, who we have ranked number 2, who just a couple weeks ago beat the Panthers. There was a 21-14 game coming down to the last drive. I mean, some say that that was the Yellow Jackets game, but that's why I kind of eased up. I was like, well, if you look at this, dude, they've had probably the hardest schedule of anybody. I mean, when you got to play the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Titans in your first 6 weeks of playing, I mean, what could you really expect coming out of that? I mean, out of your first 6 weeks, what could you expect coming out for any team? I mean, So yeah, they have a 3-3 record, but I don't think that really goes to show how their talent. I don't think it goes to show what that team really can do.
I got you.
Absolutely not, and that's going to develop a lot more throughout the season, without a doubt. I mean, it's when you get up that high in the rankings, you're dealing with such subtle differences in talent and play style. And yes, they can get beaten badly by someone in the top 2 or 3, but they're still going to, put some pain down on any team that's, roughly ranked below them. So I do think they deserve that spot, and I think there's a lot of talent there still. And even if they have lost focus a little bit, it's certainly not enough to drop them, and it's certainly something we're going to see reflected in their future games.
And just to mention too, like, I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, Marlo, but even like the last game against the Warriors, who we had the Warriors ranked pretty high, we thought pretty highly of the Warriors, and we thought, quote unquote, we can't really say because that's not like our show, but we had that coming in like the game of the week, the game to watch. I think the Yellow Jackets done good. Even granted that one of their receivers, one of their better receivers, couldn't even be there because of somebody, I guess like locked the land or something. He couldn't get onto the land or I don't know what the problem was, but he was actually kicked from the game and couldn't get back in. They couldn't figure out why. So even with him being gone, I mean, that still didn't stop them. They still, had their way with the Warriors and done whatever they wanted to do. It was a 21-7 game, but when you think about it, I mean, the Warriors really did nothing on them.
All right, that's fair enough. I'm still not sold just because of the nature of the two losses to two of those big three. I recognize the fact that they played a real tough schedule. Nobody would ever deny that from them. My point and why they have not moved as high for me is that you can't get beaten by like 70 points by two of those three teams. You can't, I mean, if you go in and if they lose all three and all three of them are like that Titans game, or even a 15-point lead, if they end up losing by 15 to one of those teams. But it's tough for me in my voting. It's tough for me to move them up higher, knowing that that just last week it was like 80 something to whatever it was. I mean, it was a mercy rule for sure. So
That is hard to see.
yeah, that's
touching
me.
on what touching on what you was talking about too. Even if you do go back and look at those games, who in the league honestly that would be able to make up that difference between the Bills or the Dolphins. Like unless you're one of the top tier teams, top 4 or 5 teams, like you kind of come into those games expecting that to happen because that's how talented them teams are.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But if you look at it, dude, like honestly, look at the Dolphins game. It was 70-24. They put up twice as many points as y'all did on the Dolphins. You see what I'm saying? Or almost twice as. I mean, not exactly
right.
twice, but so I mean, you got to give them some kind of credit. Like you can't just like take it away from them.
No, I do. I mean, I do, and that's why like I said, it's not like I have them at 12. Not that there's anything wrong with being down there, but I do have them up higher. But I guess if I look at the margin, that their margin of losses in those two teams, you're not going to convince me that there aren't teams that won't stay closer. I'll reference like the Cowboys, for instance. Cowboys played the Bills to 36-0. It was early in the season for the Cowboys at that. I feel like the Cowboys have gotten a lot better since week 1. So the next time the Cowboys play, one of those teams that we've got in the top 4 right now, if they keep it closer, then to me, I can make an argument that I feel like the Cowboys should be above the Yellow Jackets because in their 2 games against those 2 similar opponents, that they haven't gotten beat by 70 points. And I know that the actual margin wasn't 70. I'm just throwing numbers out there. 55 points. So that's to me is the way to do it. Let me hit a pause button on the argument. Marlo, we're going to let you start grilling the crap out of us in just a minute. I'm going to go here. Oh, we got Tom Box in the house. Mr. Media, what's up? He's over in Blueberry Corner. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey
right now is the time to act if you want these backpacks. I am Blueberry XX resident. To claim your viewers only gift during this show, there is the viewers only gift right there, that sporty little backpack that she is wearing. And she's riding that football. That was last week's gift. And let's see, is she wearing? Oh my gosh, she is all out on her gifts. I'm trying to find out if she's wearing the UFL necklace. She might not be. Never mind. I thought she was. I was zooming in. So, all right. So there you go. And then we also have other guests. Hello, Natalie Loop, Trinity Ono, Tom Box, and Bella Valise Koala, who's probably ready to throw something over here at me because I'm hitting on her Yellow Jackets right now. So So how's it going, guys? We've got a studio audience developing now, so I think y'all know where we're at. So come on down if you
Right,
want.
we're gonna need some extra chairs.
Right. Until it starts lagging out the fan sim, and then everybody's gonna be like, "Nope, no more."
We'll just keep it limited and pipe in some applause or something.
Right. All right, Marlo, hit us up. What has this been like for you? I know that we hit you up last week with this. So what kind of thoughts have you
Right.
given this process over the course of the week when you were figuring out how you would prepare your picks?
I just was like watching, a lot of people say, okay, well, let's go by stats, let's go by how, this person played and stuff like that. But I kind of just was, watching the different teams, how they went. I know it was, tough because there was a forfeit and stuff for the first game. I really struggled with my top five. Like, I really struggled with my top five a lot. So, I don't know. It was just weird. I thought, like, you know what? Even if, I don't do this again, I think I'm kind of going to follow it and do my own little ranking thing,
See, there you go.
personally, and see where it happens.
Yep. It's good
It's
to know.
hard. Like people think, okay, well, yeah, it's like it's rankings, and you're just going to go in and do it. It's not. You have to really think about it. And you have to really like compare teams and how they work with each other. And yeah, it's not.
It's a fun
hard.
little brain game, isn't it?
It is. I really struggled with it. I really struggled with my top five for sure because, with two forfeits and, not being able to play and stuff like that, like the Dolphins are kind of, like they're just there, they're not going anywhere. So, for me to put them where I did, I really went back and forth on that.
I gotcha. That's good stuff. What? Okay. Now I know you'd said 1 through 5. All right. So now I'm going to put you on the spot with this one, and I know that I am, and I'm going to apologize in advance for this question. All right.
Don't.
So, oh no.
Oh,
All right. So I see that you've got the Mustangs at number 11. Who do you guys play Sunday? Or this weekend?
Eagles.
Sorry. Yeah, Eagles.
Saturdays we take on the Eagles.
And look at where you got them. You got them at number 10. All right. So now how high? And then you've got the Packers at number 9. You got the Patriots at number 8. So which ones of those teams have you got in your crosshairs? Because I know you're sitting there. You look at number 11. Do you have a higher ranking in mind? Are you about ready to push for that top 10 spot?
We're ready. Oh, we're definitely ready. We're ready. Don't underestimate us. We picked up some new people, and our puzzle pieces are just starting to click together now, and we're ready to hit number 10 or up.
Okay, good deal. Which one of those teams do you think is most susceptible? Which one's the first one you're going to pass? No, you don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that. That's a horrible.
It would be interesting if you did.
Oh, okay, go
I
ahead.
would take the question.
I'll hand that over to one of my captains, and
Right.
I'll let him take the heat for it.
I would take that question for you, Syke, and I'm going to answer it simply just like this. We will take and handle the next team on our schedule.
There you go. Shots.
All right.
Shots. Actually, it's a political answer, but shots fired. Because y'all have them right. Yep.
Right.
10 and 11 right there. So, all right. I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait. And I'm just, Lord knows. And look, me and Marlo are good friends. Me and Dre good friends. They know I'm giving them grief. I couldn't help it. I had to. All right. What other questions do y'all have for me? Anybody? Or is there any in the Twitch channel? If there are any Twitch viewership channel question askers out there, we would love to hear you.
Yeah, anybody watching, you want a question, just IM me. I mean, I can't get on the Twitch stream, but if you had a question, you can IM me or anybody on the panel.
Oh, I guess I could open that up, actually. Huh?
Yeah, we have to check
Send
to
your
see.
questions in.
Marlo, do you have the Twitch thing pulled up?
I mean,
I do,
one moment,
yeah.
I'm just pulling it up. Okay, has anybody asked anything in there?
No one's asking anything yet. Nope.
Okay.
But it looks like people are getting their backpacks.
Yay!
I was.
How many are we up to now, Blueberry? How many backpacks?
Psych, I haven't counted, but we're getting close to 30, it seems.
Yay! And there you go, right here on the counter.
Yay!
We don't have one of the riding footballs out, but you can see the backpack next to the week 1 gift that you guys have missed out on now if you don't already have. So there you go. We are rolling those right along. We'll give our Twitch chat people just a minute to fire out any questions, comments.
Yeah, they
looks
just
like we
did
have one
fire out
question.
one, actually. Yeah, someone was asking, why would the Eagles drop so hard on one bad game?
See? That's my
It's yeah.
people out there believing.
It's a loaded question. It's a legit question. I mean,
I could take the question.
go for it.
The reason why that I ranked the Eagles from a top 5 down to number 10, but you got to think. You look at when you look at all the teams, when if you were playing, say, the Warriors, Yellow Jackets, somebody in your area, it's different. But when you play a team that we have ranked so far down, I don't want to say low to try to like degrade a team, but I'm saying is we have a team ranked, towards the bottom, and you lose that game, you know, it kind of hurts you. It hurts your ranking system. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you're basing it on. I mean, this is all power rings. This is all opinions. This is all like this is us coming together and making opinions about how this how this is working and how we rank these teams. So we take that in consideration. If we rank a team at the bottom, say if the Cobras come in from 14 and they beat a team that's top 10 or higher, well the
That
Cobras
means
are going to
something.
move up and the team
Yeah.
that lost is going to go down. I mean, and it's going to hurt them because that is a hard loss. I mean, it's just like in college football and basketball. Them hard losses against teams that you should have beat. That's going to hurt you. Like, and I feel, for one, do I honestly feel like the Packers are a better team than the Eagles? No, I don't feel they're a better team. But on that day, they played better and they beat them they beat them on the field. So I mean, that's all that matters. It goes back to when the Panthers beat the Dolphins. I don't believe that the Panthers are a better team than the Dolphins, but at that particular day on the field, like at that time, the Panthers were the better team. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yep,
For
yep.
myself, it was a couple of factors there. It is power rankings for a reason, which is it's a measure of what their capabilities are with what they've got to work with at the time. If you go back the last few weeks, the Eagles have lost a couple key personnel. They lost their only running back, and they lost someone that was an exceptionally strong receiver in the secondary, and that really showed in this game. And for the Packers, from my perspective, it was not just the fact that the Packers won, but it was how they won. If you look at that score breakdown, they scored consistently. It was between 6 and 10 points every quarter. Bam, bam, bam. It was steady. It was consistent. It was a solid win. And there's something to be said for that. It's one thing to have a quick turnaround where you've got a couple, lucky scores roll fast in one quarter, but this was consistent from start to finish. They were playing strong, and they brought their passing game forward, whereas the Eagles didn't. And there's something to be said for that.
I want to touch on this too. Like, watching the game, it when I watched the game, it didn't look like the Packers were having their way with the Eagles. I mean, it was a pretty close contested game until right up at the
Oh,
end,
sure.
where some mistakes were made. Picks were thrown, and the Packers capitalized on it. But the fact of the matter is, at this particular time, at this particular week, the Packers were the better team. So of course, I mean, that's going to hurt you. That's going to hurt you in the rankings when you lose to a team that's ranked so low. And that's why we, done what we did on the rankings.
There you go. And guys, we got just about 2 more minutes. I know it's getting scrim time for a bunch of teams, so a lot of folks are booking out here, and we certainly are mindful of that. Apologies for starting so late tonight, but I know I had RL. I think Dre's RL was holding him a little bit later than normal too, so we do apologize for that. Next week we will be starting a little bit more early, so that shouldn't be right. I know it was bad. And I saw it coming too, and I tried my best to get everything done as early as possible. But hey, look. I guarantee you, the people don't care about that. What they care about is that they got their free blueberry book bag. That's that. As long as they got their free blueberry backpack, they're good about that. Blueberry is the rock star of this show. All right. Okay. Let's see. I got an anonymous question for you, Durgan. This is the Cowboys want to know boxers or briefs. That's not a real.
Boxer briefs or compression shorts.
There you go. Roll Tide. All right. So, have there
Got
been
a couple quick questions and
Roll Tide.
we had a couple quick ones in UFL live stream here. Theo wanted to know why I wasn't wearing aviators. Theo, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm wearing aviators. They're right there on my face. I don't know.
Hang on. Look.
And then someone else asked they would like the playoff system and how selection will work explained. Is that something we can cover quickly enough here?
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. At the risk of giving misinformation that I don't have anything ironed out 100%. I will seek out UFL ownership of that, and how about we'll do that as a segment next week. So tune in next week, and we will I will do my darndest to get everything, because on something that sensitive,
Good call.
yeah, I don't want to just throw off what I believe to be the right answer and then have to apologize for it later.
Oh no, I bet it's a good question.
Yeah, it's
I'm kind of curious about that myself. So
right. I think I know, but again, I don't want to answer on something that sensitive,
yeah.
because you don't want to give people the idea and then they never hear a correction, and then all of a sudden it's end of season. Well, Syke said, well, look, I've said so much this season it ain't even funny. All right.
Also, I want to say this too. Also, guys, if throughout the week or whatever, if you get a question or whatever, you can send us note cards or IM us or whatever, and we'll cover it, on the show if it's something you just think of during the week. Because I mean, I know when you put you on the spot, just to
Yep.
think of a last minute question, it's kind of rough. But feel free to think of your questions. Think of anything you want us to talk about. I mean, I'm open always. Like if you got any suggestions or whatever, bring it to me. I mean, we can talk about it, and I will get it on the show if we have time.
And
Absolutely.
by all means, check the Facebook thread where we post this show up. Post your own rankings, get your own ideas out there and opinions. Get people talking.
Yep. All right, guys, I'm going to go over here one last time and give you Blueberry XX Resident. I am her now. Tell your friends that I am her now. Get those backpacks while they're still being given away. You can see them. They are being modeled by at least a couple of our visitors here tonight, so you can see those. They look cool. I'm going to be wearing one. I'll sport one around the UFL stadium this week, just so people will ask, where'd you get that? And I can laugh. Oh, you don't watch our show. So there you go. I tell you what, I tell you what, I will go ahead and announce. Now, this is next week's going to be interesting because there's only, I think, 3 games for the weekend, but that means 6 teams are involved, so that could lead, still could lead to some shakeups next week, even though they might not be as pronounced as they have been the last couple of weeks. Man, we've had some movement the last couple of weeks. It's neat. Um, so I'll do that. I will tell you, we do already have a special guest lined up for next week. Mr. Zaney from the Warriors, I believe. Yeah, Warriors now. He will be joining us next week as our special guest, and I'm going to do this over the course of the week. All right, it won't be for the next week's show, but the following weeks. I want to see. All right, and you can do it under this week's show, so that way we don't bombard the UFL with the UFL Facebook page. But I want to see your power rankings, and I want a description of what you feel like your most controversial ranking was and why. And we will pick those, and you will guest on the show after next. So we're going to put it up for a contest on who our guest will be. We may go with more than one. You notice we've got 2 guest chairs. So we will put that as a running contest this week. We'll announce the winner on next week's show. With the one that Zany is guest hosting on us with us on, and then you will be here on the following week. So there you have it. Marlo, have you got any closing thoughts, comments, or anything that you want to throw out there before we get signed off here?
I don't. I'm sorry. I was dealing with another issue.
Oh, you certainly can.
Um, Thank you. We're working on a very special item for next week. It's taking a while, but it's very special. It's gonna be worth it. So make sure to tune in next week.
Oh, see, I don't even know what this item is. So now, like, I'm already wanting to IM her and find out. She probably won't tell.
Fancy.
So yeah, no, I'm gonna have to be here now.
Right? So there you have it. One of our hosts is going to be here now. So that's always a good thing. No, look, guys, it's been a fun show this week. I'll let you guys say your sign offs, and then I'll close us out, and we'll be done.
All right. Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to everybody for tuning in. Thanks for making the show what it is. Um, Big thank you to Blueberry for supplying the gifts that all our viewers do get every week. If you ain't got a chance to tell her thank you, do so. She's amazing. If you had a chance to go to her store, check out her clothes, you need to do that because you are missing out on some of the best stuff SL
Absolutely.
has. Um, my name is Dre. Shout out to my bro. I'd give him a shout out. Dante, LSSN for life. Let's go.
Poor little buddy.
All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, Durgan. Yeah, you're up. Durgan. Psst.
I've got nothing special to say. I don't have anything that cool to say. So signing off.
All right. Marlo, you got any party? Oh, wait. No, I already gave you a parting shot, didn't I?
Yeah, thanks for
I'm
having me,
sorry.
guys.
Yeah, it's been fun.
That's all right.
Listen, guys, thanks for making this show what it is. It's a blast. It's a lot of fun to do. A special thank you out there to Packers ownership and Packers quarterbacks. I've really enjoyed talking with you guys this week. Y'all are amazing sports, and I hope you guys got a good chuckle out of that, like it was intended to be. So. I love you all. We will be back next week, same time, same channel. Get those blueberry backpacks. She'll probably be here for a few more minutes. It's been fun, and we will sign out.